Are you a nurse practitioner or DNP prepared nurse and you want to know, can you own your own med spa and be your own medical director? Or are you a registered nurse who is thinking about owning an aesthetic practice, but you want to know, can a DNP be my medical director perhaps? Well, in this video, I am going to answer those questions and also provide you with some strategies that I think will be extremely helpful in starting your aesthetic business. Stay tuned. All right, so before we get started, let me introduce myself. My name is Dr. Kiiyonna Jones, and I am owner and founder of Luxe Beauty and Wellness Boutique and Luxe Beauty Academy. And I help nurses, nurse practitioners, physician assistants, MDs get to the aesthetic bag. I really, truly am very much so passionate about healthcare professionals charging their worth plus tax and having the money and time freedom that we deserve. And so today's topic is going to be based on a question that was asked in my comments. And the question was, can a DNP be a nurse practitioner and be a medical director since they're a DNP? And the answer is, not so fast. Let's discuss a couple things. I want people to understand that a DNP does not necessarily mean advanced practice. They could be a doctorate of nursing practice, which does not necessarily mean they have their FNP. And so I think a lot of people get confused because we think DNP means doctorate of nurse practitioner. That may not be the case, where they could be getting a doctorate of nursing practice, right? Which means they could have their master's degree in administration, they could have their master's degree in education. They are not able to practice outside of their RN license scope of practice clinically. So in that case, a DNP cannot be your medical director. And there are some other circumstances that I will also talk about as well. So the first question I would have when it comes to DNP is, are they advanced practice nurse or not? So are they a DNP and are they, adult gero nurse practitioner? Are they a women's health nurse practitioner? Are they a family nurse practitioner? Or are they a DNP and an administrative master's in nursing? So you need to ask that question. That's the first step. The next thing is, if they are a DNP and maybe they are a FNP, are they able to practice independently or autonomously in their state? So what does that mean? Are they in a full practice authority state? If they're in a full practice authority state, and they have their DNP and their FNP, then the chances that they would be able to be your medical director is greater, but it's not 100%. And let me tell you why. There are some states that in spite of the state being a full practice authority state, and in spite of the fact that you have a person who has a DNP and FNP, they simply do not allow in the aesthetic space nurse practitioners to practice independently. So there are some states that still, even though they are considered full practice, when you enter into the aesthetic space, they still require you to have a medical collaborator. And so they are not able to practice independently in the aesthetic space. Another question is, I don't know, this is such an assumption that if you're a nurse practitioner, you can practice independently. And that's just not the case if you're not in a full practice state. Now, there are some states that once you either complete nursing school, you can go and you can practice independently. Complete FNP school, you can go and you can practice independently. There are some states where even once you complete your FNP program, you still have to go back and spend some time being supervised by a physician. And those hours vary by state. Right now in the state of California, it's 4,600 hours. In the state of Illinois is 1,000 hours. Every state is different. And in some states like Nevada, you can just graduate and, go on your merry way. So it really does depend on what state it is. So for the people who are assuming that because they're a nurse practitioner, they can just go off and practice and own their own practice and be their own medical director, that might not be the case. Now, This could be something that's advantageous for registered nurses who may not be advanced practice nurses, because this will give you a little bit of a strategy if you are in one of these states. So here's what I would do if I was a nurse practitioner. If I was a registered nurse and I wanted to find out if I could get a nurse practitioner to be my medical director. First thing I would do is check to see if you are in a full practice state or not. If you are in a restricted practice state, you stop there, you need to get a medical doctor, and that's it. However, if you are in a full practice authority state, the next thing I would do is find out, are nurse practitioners able to practice independently in the aesthetic space if you're interested in aesthetics. Now, if you want to do IV hydration, they can do it because that falls under wellness, primary care. But if you want to do aesthetics, the next thing I would do is like, okay, they can practice independently, but are they able to do this in the aesthetic space? I would find that out. If they are able to, like the state of Illinois, let's use them for example, Illinois, if they are able to, the next thing is the nurse practitioner who you are considering, have they already applied for independent practice license? Have they done that already? In other words, have they met the state criteria to apply for independent practice, and did they actually apply, and do they have it? If they do, and if it allows it in the state, then it's a go. In Illinois, it is possible to do that. So those are just a little pieces of advice I have. I really want to make sure that those who are watching this video understand it's never a one size fits all. Sorry, it's very state specific. And so that's why I like to spend a lot of time kind of talking about the different states, because I know that there's a lot of information out there on social media that gives you like vague answers, and on the internet, Google, that gives you vague answers. So just so you know, if you're an RN, you're definitely going to need at least a nurse practitioner, if not a medical doctor. But if you are an NP, it doesn't matter if you're a DNP if you're not advanced practice nurse, meaning if you don't have an advanced scope of practice outside of the normal nursing practice. We know advanced practice nurses are able to assess, diagnose, treat, right? Prescribe. That's not the case with RNs. And so if they are a DNP and they don't also have that advanced practice in addition to the DNP, then in no way can they be your medical director no matter what state they're in. So I hope that adds some value to you guys. Again, if you enjoyed this video, it was short and I made sure to make it short this time. And if it was informative for you, go ahead and hit that like button, and then also subscribe, and don't gatekeep. Share it with your nurse boss friends, your nurse practitioner friends, as I will be delivering you guys weekly content. A lot will be based on the questions if you guys continue to ask me questions, but also just based on my life experience regarding aesthetic nursing, regarding nurse entrepreneurship, and just hot topics in nursing. Until next time, you guys, take care. Bye.